We welcome you inside this edition of the Chuck Benson Show. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, alongside the head coach of Carson-Newman's men's basketball team, Chuck Benson. Coach Benson, your Eagles moved to 6-1 after a victory over Hiawassee. Quick turnaround, though, with the Saturday contest looming against the Milligan Buffaloes. You're in the gym right now practicing. What's it take to get ready with a quick turnaround for the Buffs?
We got to get plenty of rest. This is not a traditional practice. You know, in these kind of situations, it's more game specific. Get some shots up, try to make sure our kids understand what the game plan is, and then make sure you get the rest you need.
Milligan, you haven't faced the Buffs since 2008, but what's the history like between Milligan and CN?
It's long. It's long. I guess 20 years ago, when Carson-Newman made that jump to Division II. Before that, Milligan was on the schedule every year. Recent past, not been so much, but this will be a game for both teams that carries some clout. Both teams are located in the eastern part of the state of Tennessee, so we take this one very, very seriously and are trying to convince our kids and really teach them of the history of this kind of game.
Milligan with 4 players that average double figures, led by Tyler DeVault's 13.4. How do you slow down a balanced attack?
They're tough, man. They're a good offensive team. You know, they're averaging 76 a game, shooting 48, 49% in the field. Got multiple three-point shooters. We've got to try to make them uncomfortable with our pressure and with our trapping packages. And then we've got to turn our defensive rebounds and steals and so forth into points. It's going to be as tough an opponent as we've seen, considering the fact that they've won 4 in a row and 5 of their last 6.
What's their tempo like?
They'll push it. You know, they'll take early shots. They're not into trying to grind it out. It'll be a challenge. We're banged up a little bit right now, but we got some experienced, healthy players that I think will rise to the challenge.
You bring up being beat up. Antoine Davis went down with a foot injury against Hiawassee last time out. Corbin Jackson's been ailing with turf toe. How do you adjust and adapt without a couple of heady players available?
Well, our guys did a great job at the Hiawassee game when we lost Antoine right to start the game, but we just moved forward, and that's a sign of some maturity. I thought our kids, we never talked about it until after the game, and I felt like we responded well. Does it really impact what we're doing right now on the floor? No. We just put the next guy in and stay with the plan. We don't really change offense, defense. Obviously, we want those guys to get back as soon as possible, and they're rehabbing aggressively with Brian Campbell, our trainers. But we're not going to let that impact or affect how we approach this game.
You bring that up. 7 games this season. You've used 4 different starting lineups. You've won with 4 different starting lineups. Does that speak to the nature of your team?
I think it does. I mean, we've got more juniors and seniors than we've had in the last couple of years. Those guys got a lot of college basketball experience, so we know that we can mix that thing up a little bit. And I like the idea early, especially trying to get different combinations on the floor early, just to see how the guys respond to actually starting the game. It's a different mentality when you start as opposed to when you come off the bench. And I've been really pleased with the overall response we've gotten so far.
Finals are done for Carson-Newman players. They get to just focus on basketball. How have you seen that play into effect?
Well, you know, we just got done yesterday with them. The last guy took the last one yesterday. But you can tell they're a little bit more relaxed now. We try to have a little fun with them. You know, we're wrapping up. We're here 5 or 6 days with no classes. Then we come back for about a week and a half with no classes. So we really make this sort of a basketball clinic, academy, camp kind of approach, and spend a lot of time with the guys off the floor, just hanging out and developing our relationships and trying to get to know them on a more personal level.
Chuck, pleasure as always. We'll talk to you after the game.
Thanks, Adam.
It's Carson-Newman head men's basketball coach Chuck Benson. That wraps another edition of the Chuck Benson Show. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier. That's Chuck Benson, and this is CNEagles.com.